22nd of May and it's snowing.
This is really Saskatoon country. Muhammad Ali.
He's got a heart made of yellow barley straw. This is Lawrence Thibault.
Well, they could have phoned me and said,
His brother Leo Thibault.
who's doing it?
Dean Roberge. He's our resident bison rancher.
Bison?
Yeah, this is Ed Dissetel. He's a farmer from north of town. This is his nephew, Claude close enough. Nephew Claude.
Tallest man in Pontiac.
The tallest man in
Are
Pontiac.
you really? Could you stand up?
You'll never
hooked
fit me
now.
in your camera.
It's like weighing a semi-clod. You do it in sections. Weigh each axle.
There you go.
Oh, are you related to Edward Beaupre?
You're good at think French.
All right.
Well, I'm helping my dad farm, I guess, for now, and yeah, it's a good life. I've got 3 kids. I've got 3 kids, and I thought this is a place to raise them. It's a tough life, but in a way, it's got a lot of advantages that I thought that are important advantages. So, I guess you would expect less crime when there's less people. And like I said, the main thing is. You can, if you need somebody to look after your kids, it's all people you know and you can trust. You don't have to worry about finding that babysitter or the daycare and people you don't know and don't know what kind of beliefs they have or values they have. It's not just about the money sometimes.
I left for 2.5 years. Went to BC and came back because I was like lifestyle. Rural. I'm a small town boy and I love the life. Can't see anybody living in the city. You go to the cities and there's my son lives in the city and doesn't even know who his neighbor is. And that ain't right. You can have any kind of disaster here. You never have to worry about who's going to come to help you because the whole town comes. It's like one big, huge, happy family. Of course, there's always some problems, but everybody cares for everybody, and everybody always helps everybody else. And you can't beat that lifestyle.
I'm John.
I'm Dave.
And we're the Hardware Guys.
You can go downtown and be friends with, know people and be friendly and say hello. Can you do that in the city? We don't. Not really that much. Even in Regina, we can't do that. So, yeah, living in a small town, it's great.
It was a great place to grow up, actually. The school was small enough that you knew all the kids from 12 through grade 9 kind of thing. And like David said, there was always lots to do. There was winter festivals, there was skating, there was skiing. Yeah, you couldn't beat it, actually. I wouldn't trade it, actually. I did go to school for a while in the city, and yeah, it came back to the small town to end up graduating. So it was good. Bye.
The Moosomin World Spectator is the oldest weekly in Saskatchewan. I grew up in Regina, went to university in Regina. I've been in Moosomin for 14 years now. I came here as a reporter and then became editor after about 3 or 4 years, and then bought the paper in May. It was a difficult decision because a lot of people have a lot of questions about the future of rural Saskatchewan, but looking at the business and looking at other places in the country to invest, I thought this seemed to be a place where we can get into business for a relatively low cost, and I see an awful lot of potential here. Already we've seen in our business, we've seen our printing business just about triple in the last few months. Love this town, and I love living here, and I have no regrets about choosing to live in a small town. It's a good life, and in this century I don't think anyone is really that isolated from anyone else. I mean, it's between the internet and cell phones, everything else. I think it's maybe an urban perspective too that sees rural people as being somewhat isolated, and this paper is a very interesting place to work. There's certainly no 2 days the same. It is a local paper, but this is a small world, and everything in the world affects people locally. I think we simply reflect what's happening in the community, but we really try to help people tell their stories. We have a lot of very in-depth feature stories. People understand their neighbors a little bit better when they're able to read that sort of thing, and it helps open the lines of communication within the community. Jobs in a newspaper are fairly specialized, and you need specialized training. And it's amazing. Actually, I just hired a reporter, and I couldn't believe the response we got. We got 45 applications from right across the country, from very qualified people. The World Spectator name must ring a bell with a lot of people or something. I don't know if we're doing any good or any bad. We're simply, again, we're telling stories. We're putting the facts out there. We're helping people tell their stories. So I don't know if it's good or bad. Hopefully it makes people think, and hopefully it opens the lines of communications.
Okay.
Hey?
What year would that be?
About 1909.
My father came here in in either 1910 or 1911. And he came on a harvest excursion, him and another fellow. And they came and they worked at the farm where Peter and Jean Flett are now.
Oh, yeah.
And they both had typhoid fever at that farm. And my father lived, the other guy died there. But
Is he buried up in the cemetery?
I don't know where he was buried. I'd assume he was buried there. They wouldn't ship him back east, you know. But my dad showed me the room up in Flett's house there where he was sick and that. And it's quite interesting now to be good friends with the Fletts and know that you go back that far in there. But, it's a bit of history that you're glad to be in.
Yeah.
Because if he'd have died, you know, I wouldn't be here.
You boys would be sitting just looking at one another.
And this wouldn't be near as much fun with just two of us, right?
I don't know, for me to drive to visit my sister and her family for 3 hours, that's nothing. 3-hour drive is nothing, but you ask somebody else and, you know, who lives in Vancouver or something like that, well, 3 hours, oh my, they would never do that. It's just too far. And really, it's nothing. It's no distance at all.
The other day, I worked in Jackfish, which is half an hour north of North Battleford. So we left. I left my home at 4:30. We got to Jackfish at about it's been about 10:30, and then we worked there for 3 hours, and then we got back in the car and came back to Regina, which is, I mean, it seems crazy, but we have employees from throughout the whole province, so that was kind of a central location for them because we have people from La Ronge and PA and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, it was a long way to go. I wouldn't recommend doing it in one day, but you know, it went quick. The ride up went quick. You know, I had another girl I work with that was with me, so we just talked about everything, solved all the world's problems on the way up, and you know, so it was okay. But you do seem to have to travel. You know, it's part of your life here. But then, you know, there's people you say from Fort Capella, well, they'll get a nosebleed if they leave the valley. So they never leave the valley.
Temperature-wise, it's really nice. The roads are pretty slick. You've got icy patches all over the place, but otherwise it's not. Once the weather settles, it'll be all right. Like right now, it's don't know what it's going to do, whether it's going to rain or snow. It makes winter a little shorter when it's like this. It doesn't keep the skiers or the snowboarders happy if it keeps melting like this. So they're hoping for more snow, of course. And these slick patches make it difficult for turning.
TWC was founded in 1986 as a mutual fund dealership. Currently we have over 400 associates that work with TWC from Ontario to BC. Most of our competitors would be based in Toronto and Vancouver. This is the head office for the firm, and the primary processing of all the business is handled right here in Radville. And there is an independent rating that's done each year on independent mutual fund dealers through a firm in Toronto called Investment Executive. They do a newspaper, and TWC is rated extremely high each year, and sometimes first place for having the best quality back office processing in the industry. And why move? I mean, we can do anything our competitors can do from here. I mean, with the technology we have and the tie-in with the business processing and everything, that we're basically doing the same functions that would be done in Vancouver, Toronto, or any place we have competitors. We have approximately 80 people working in this office right now. And I guess another good reason to be here that we found over the years is there's so many great qualified people we have that work at TWC that have been here, some right from the start, that have been with us like 15 years. They're comfortable here, they live here, they made their home, and they're based here, and they wouldn't want to move. So I guess my opinion on the growth of the opportunities for business outside of the major centers would be that there's lots of them. There's lots of good centers like Radville out there that are looking to grow, that have good, skilled, qualified workers, that have a good work ethic, that allow you really to establish a business and grow it, I believe, in a small center, and keep your costs lower than they would be in a major center. Well, the advantages of being located in Radville, in my view, there's lots of them. I mean, we only have 3 4-way stops in town. I mean, I can be in this office, and most of our staff can be here. No time at all. We have no traffic jams, no hassles, no problems that way. From a personal standpoint, with family, I've got 5 children. People know each other. You know, there's no crime rate issues here. It's great from that standpoint. If my kid falls off their bike going home from school, somebody's going to know who they belong to, and they'll bring them over to the house and say, "Tim, we found your son laying on the street in the bike accident." I mean, it's nice and comforting, I guess, to know in a community like this that there's people that know you and care about the family and want to help grow the business and the community together. So there's a sense of community, I guess, you don't sometimes get in a larger center. I think about the parents that live in the cities and have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to take their kids to hockey practice, and mine can walk down the street, go at 9 o'clock. It looks pretty appealing sometimes. I don't feel isolated living here. I enjoy the peace and quiet that comes with living in a small town. I have traveled a lot, and I've spent a lot of time in a lot of major cities, and I'm pretty happy to come home and be here as opposed to some of the places that I have to go in business. I often say to people, you can go anywhere in the world from Radville. It's an hour drive to the airport, and what's wrong with this place, right?
Bye.